I'm Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. This holiday season, why not give a gift that truly shines? At Bailey's, we believe in making every moment special, and our carefully curated selection of fine jewelry is sure to bring joy to your loved ones. From stunning diamonds to designer jewelry and luxury watches, we have the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Gift the magic of a Bailey box and make this Christmas unforgettable. Visit us today in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
99.9 The Fan, Carolina Ale House, and me, Victoria Boatnecker, want to get you to a Canes game. Join me this Friday night at the Carolina Ale House in Pryor Creek from 7 to 9. Sign up for your shot to grab a pair of tickets to the January 5th Canes-Penguins game. I guarantee 30 people will be able to get into the game on us once the night is done. While you're there, grab a drink. They have specials every day of the week. To win, you got to come hang out with me, so set the reminder. Carolina Ale House at Pryor Creek Friday night with me and 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hi, my name is Lance Corporal Tucker with VMFA 312, out here deployed in Iwakuni, Japan. Just wanted to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody back home. Hope you guys are staying warm and safe out there.
Hi guys, my name is Staff Sergeant Brianna Harris. I'm coming from the Allied Forces South Battalion in Naples, Italy. I just want to give a shout out to my family. Merry Christmas.
Edwards Inc., standing tall and proudly saluting all who have served and those who continue to serve this holiday season.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. The Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low fives for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6% or you are in process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock in a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000. Lower rates and lower fees. Get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Loan Pronto, call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN, asking a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
The really, really big money that the university and the whole athletic department gets to spend, that will be reserved for serious football schools in the future. And maybe somebody inside North Carolina is thinking, look, just being North Carolina and having all these national championships and all these other sports might not get us to that level. So we need to at least start getting serious about football. The reason why I like the fact that they are saying risk and they are saying gamble, that's because you could be Texas A&M, spend just as much as anybody else, and be 8-4 and not have a conference title for decades.
Oh, so festive. Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I hope all of you are having a wonderful Thursday. Victoria's back. She doesn't hate Thursdays.
No.
She hates Wednesdays.
I know.
So,
but that was the last Chip Patterson appearance for 2024, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because actually we've got back-to-back Wednesdays. We won't have shows.
I know. Christmas is on a Wednesday.
We will have shows. I shouldn't tell. The affiliates are going, wait a second.
No, I know,
We're going to have a show. Yes. They will get best ofs.
Yes.
On Wednesday, which is Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Week from yesterday.
New Year's.
And then New Year's, you'll get a best of.
Yeah.
And I realize we use the term loosely. Because I'm not entirely sure that is even physically possible. But, so we physically will not be here. I will return. Today is actually my Christmas Eve.
I know, and I had no idea. I wasn't prepared.
We should talk more. this is my last show of the calendar year. We'll see everybody. After today, I'll see everybody on the 2nd of January. We still have hockey games to do, so I'll still be all over the place. But, yeah, today's it. Today's it. It's my year-ender. You know, every year I say to myself, I'm not even sure I say it. I should say it out loud. If you say things out loud to yourself, right, you have a better chance of remembering them.
That's what they
tell us. If you just think of them.
Yeah.
And nobody walks around with little notebooks in their pocket anymore. And even if I did, I would forget to use it.
Unless it's your phone. I do have a note in my phone.
Yeah, but I don't do a good job.
Same.
I use the calendar on my phone, and then I ignore the calendar alerts.
Yeah.
So what good is it?
Right.
What good is it? Oh, I have another calendar alert. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, I'm late. So, every year I decide I'm going to make a note. I'm going to take notice of big events that happen during the course of the season. So when we get to this time of the year, we can do the old radio cliche. What were your favorite moments in 2024? And now I was thinking about that as I was driving in today, and I couldn't come up with anything. So that's where my brain is.
I mean, it's been a crazy year, and the Belichick thing completely just
that's the moment of the
everything.
Year.
Yeah.
It just makes it easy, right?
Yeah.
The moment of 2024 is Bill Belichick as the coach at North Carolina.
Coming to North Carolina.
There you go.
Here's some cutoffs.
It makes the it just makes the year ender so much easier when it just happened 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I put it out on Twitter, and if you want to, maybe we'll throw it in the YouTube chat. You can follow us and watch the show on YouTube, youtube.com/Adam Gold Show or /999 The Fan. Either way, and put it in the little chat box. If you could give a gift to your favorite team, give a gift to your favorite team. What would it be? What would it be? Give a gift to your favorite team. And it doesn't make a difference what that team is. We'll discuss it. Maybe we can get it wrapped in time for the holiday.
Or just put a bow on it. That's the easy way to wrap something. Just slap a bow on it.
So we always have our parent company here. We're an NBC affiliate. Television station is an NBC affiliate. So we've always got the Today Show on.
Yes.
So, and the Today Show, it's like 9 hours a day.
It is. It's forever.
I grew up, the Today Show was 2 hours.
Right.
It's like 7 to 9. That was the Today Show. Now it runs from like 5 until noon.
And then they go to sleep and do it all over again.
I don't even think they sleep.
No.
So they did a segment out there. I was waiting for coffee to brew or something where wrapping paper, expensive.
It is.
Okay.
I mean, some, not all.
We haven't bought wrapping paper in my house in 15 years.
Okay.
Because I think there was a time where we bought it as a fundraiser for like one of our kids' school.
Yes.
And we bought enough where, like, why do we have so much?
Yeah.
So we haven't had to buy it forever.
Never have to buy it.
So I have no idea if it's expensive or not. But the whole point of this segment was it's bad for the environment anyway. Don't use it. Like, excellent.
All right.
We've been touting a green Santa in our house for like
you've been on board already.
A decade.
Yeah.
Like Santa's like we're too tired.
Yeah.
I ain't like by the time we get our kids to bed, it's nearly midnight. I ain't staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning when we got to get up at 5.
No, put a bag over it.
Like that.
Yeah.
Not even put a bag over it. Slap a label on it. This is yours.
Yeah. This one's for you. This side is your side.
Right.
That side's the other's.
Green Santa. That's what we have. Yeah. So anyway, merry and everybody, merry and happy.
Just put a blanket over it, and then it's like a Houdini trick. Ta-da!
So, but, you know, I want to say Merry Christmas because I don't want people to go, well, I can't go say Christmas. Whatever. People are mad. They think that we're trying to kill Christmas.
Oh, no, never.
No. Please. We have a tree. We've had a tree in our house. Yeah. It's been up since 2 days after Thanksgiving.
Just bake Christmas cookies. I mean, it's like.
I'm glad I'm going to miss the Christmas cookie craze here.
Oh, yeah.
This is damaging.
Yes.
All right. We got to start. All right. So let's talk about a couple of quick things. First of all, the Carolina Hurricanes are heading into the holiday, having won 2 in a row for the first time since Thanksgiving. Actually watched the Red Wings and Flyers last night. Super entertaining game by two teams that may not make the playoffs. But it does show you that I think the Eastern Conference is pretty doggone difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Boston is not a playoff team right now, but Boston is playing better. There's a lot of really good teams. Ottawa's in the last wild card spot right now. I think Ottawa's really good. I think it's going to be interesting to see how many teams are really late on in the season fighting it out for a playoffs, have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. So I was watching that game last night, and I was still thinking about the win Tuesday night where Carolina beat the Islanders. And I know somebody in the hallway said, man, that was a great performance Tuesday night. I'm like, it was a good performance. And a friend of mine does a Canes Substack where he digs into numbers. It was like the first time in 3 years the Hurricanes had won a game or shut out an opponent where the expected goals allowed was nearly 4.
Oh.
Yeah, look,
okay.
This is how well Pyotr Kochetkov played.
Yeah.
In that he could have easily given up 3 or 4 goals. And nobody would have blamed him for doing that because they allowed a lot of good chances to the Islanders. So it wasn't the game that some people think it was because Carolina was pretty loose. And Rod Brindamore talked about this in the postgame show. And Jordan Stahl, I'm trying to think who was interviewed in the locker room. Maybe it was Aho in the locker room after. They were talking about it after the game and like, yeah, we weren't that great. Third period was Carolina's best period in terms of really imposing their will on the game. But the Islanders had plenty of chances to score. That's how well Kochetkov played.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to see in some ways, if you had to dream up, how do I want to win this game tonight? It would be let your goaltender win the game for you. It almost would have been better to have won that game 1-0 with the way Kochetkov played. The scoreboard took some pressure off of him, but he was so good for all 60 minutes that was the performance that they needed to see from him because there's nobody else coming. It's going to be Kochetkov and either Dustin Tokarski or Spencer Martin, or maybe, and I know they're looking, maybe they'll bring in another NHL goalie at some point. But here's what Eric Tulsky and company don't want to do. They don't want to appear desperate. And I think they're trying to wait for a time where Kochetkov is putting together a long run of efforts like what we saw against the Islanders, so they don't have to appear like you need us.
Mm-hmm.
So they were not, like they were interested in Mackenzie Blackwood, who was traded from the Sharks to the Colorado Avalanche. And Blackwood's a good goalie. Pretty much a backup, but he might be the starter. I think he is going to be the starter in Colorado, and they're even talking about an extension for him already. But the Hurricanes were not going to give up a first-round pick for what they believe is a backup quarterback. They think they have their number one goaltender of the future. That's Kochetkov. Whether they do or not, we'll find out. So they were not about to give up a lot for what they view as an insurance policy in net, which is why I just think they need somebody who can play in the NHL. Not a starter, but somebody who can be a tandem goaltender in the NHL. That's what they need. And when Freddie Anderson comes back, the goalie they add will likely be the third goalie, and they'll probably carry that third goalie at that point. But Anderson is probably a month and a half or so. We're almost through December already.
Yeah.
It's the 19th. That's frightening to me. That made me feel older. Like, didn't December just start?
I know, it feels like it.
God.
Why are we almost done with 2024? This is bad.
So Tuesday, when they were playing the Islanders, they do the interview in one of the media timeouts of the I guess it was the second. No, it was the first period. I think they were talking to Rod. And, yeah, it was the first period. So they go to the bench, and I think it was Kevin Weeks, former Hurricane, and so he knows Rod Brindamore very well. So Kevin Weeks has the question for Rod Brindamore.
You talked about your third line, how much they influence the game and tilt the ice. They've done that. What have you seen from them?
Well, which line is the third line?
I'll go stall for you.
That's not the third line. But, they do it right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're, I think the number one line, but you can call it what you want. They've done a great job all year, and obviously tonight's been good so far.
Yeah.
He should have known that was coming.
Well, Kevin Weeks is not necessarily wrong, okay? When you look at scoring lines, that's how we generally view these things. It is supposed to be the third line. But this is where you have to remember what the head coach values the most. It's about goal prevention more than it's about goal scoring. But if the Hurricanes play the way they're supposed to play, they get tons of scoring chances. So if you look, every single year, last year was actually the outlier. Every single year, Carolina is like first or second in grade A scoring chances for, and the percentage of grade A scoring chances in a game that they get. So they usually allow the fewest and gain the most. So while it's a defensive mindset, it produces offense. Like, it's not just a percentage. They get more scoring chances than other teams. The problem has been finishing those chances. And a lot of it comes from the Stahl line because Jordan Stahl, not exactly Wayne Gretzky when it comes to the offensive side of the sport. And a lot of the players he has played with are not of that ilk. Jordan Martinook is not a high volume scorer.
I did love what he said about Piotr when he was asked how he felt, how the bench felt when Piotr decided to do the 8-mile poke check, basically in the face-off circle. Yeah, he was like, yeah, we were worried.
Yeah. Oh, did Martinook say that? I didn't hear the Martinook interview because it happened. Like, I know he came right out to the bench to do it. I didn't hear that because I was.
Yeah, we were nervous.
Yeah, well, that's what Piotr does, right? And Rod talked about it a little bit after the game. Yeah, we'd like to kind of curtail that some, but you're never going to take it out of his game. No. I get it. I wish he would have just stayed in his net on that particular play, but he did get the puck. And it eliminated a chance. So
also flung his stick at one point.
Yeah, he threw it like a javelin, as Trip Tracy said. Yeah. But just to get to Rod's point, he views things just differently. But he will criticize you for numbering the lines. Maybe because he doesn't like the way you number them. But he numbered them. Rod numbered the lines. He called essentially the captain's line, Jordan's, Stahl, and Martinook with William Carrier. He called them the first line. And that's how they're listed, by the way. When they give the lines out to the media for the game, the Stahl line is listed first, not the Aho line.
Nice.
It's been that way for a long time. But it's also the line that plays the way that Rod wants the team to play. And when the team is playing at their best, it looks like that across the board. I thought last 25 minutes we got back to a lot of that. I thought the Aho line and the Kotkaniemi line both were playing that way as well. Real quick I mentioned I wanted to talk briefly about Jordan Martinook because he's got 8 goals now, and he's among the team leaders in goals.
Yeah.
So I think does he have the same number of goals as Seth Jarvis or one more than? It's crazy.
I mean, I know he started the season joking about him being a,
right,
big time goal scorer.
And then he went 13 games without a goal.
Yeah.
And he has scored in back-to-back games now. But there's a conversation to be had about Martinook being like an all-time Hurricane. And because there haven't been long stretches of success until this stretch, It took a long time. The Hurricanes weren't making the playoffs consecutive years. 2001, 2002. Playoff consecutive years. In Carolina, that was the only time before this run where the Hurricanes were in the playoffs on back-to-back years. They didn't make the playoffs. Well, there was no season the year before 06, but they didn't make playoffs in 04, didn't make playoffs in 07. 09, they go to the Cup final, didn't make the playoffs the year before or the year after, and in fact, after 09, they didn't make playoffs again until 19. So, and now they've been in the playoffs, and they'll be in the playoffs again this year. It'll be 7 years in a row. Jordan Martinook's been kind of a catalyst for the way this team plays. So I understand it's like it takes a mental exercise, but he has been that good for this team, and I'm not sure that we are not witnessing the best version of him right now. Health has a lot to do with it. He's been healthy for 2 years. Knock on wood.
Right.
Knock on wood. All right, Canes are on the road for 6 of their next 7 games. The NFL playoff race is interesting to me. And by the way, we're going to talk to Brian Geisinger at the bottom of the hour. And we're going to talk about UNC basketball and whether or not this particular team is fixable. Doesn't mean you can't win, but how different are they going to have to play from now until the end of the regular season to put themselves in a position to make the NCAA tournament? Not going to lie. I think it's, if you ask me today, will they? I would say no. But I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. I just can't remember when. So I want to just talk about the NFL playoffs. Kansas City's the top seed right now in the AFC, right? And their next 3 games, home against Houston, at Pittsburgh, and at Denver. That's not an easy stretch. What complicates matters more for the Chiefs is that Patrick Mahomes has a high ankle sprain. They are inclined to have him play against Houston. Awesome. If he aggravates that high ankle sprain, or it gets worse, if he can't play and you lose, you're going on the road needing to win probably 2 of those games, or both of those games, because Buffalo right now, who beat Kansas City, has 3 bye weeks at the end of the season. They have the Patriots twice and the Jets once.
Oh, yeah.
So the Bills are going to finish 14-3, unless the Bills decide they don't want to. Because the two teams they have on their schedule, again, Patriots twice, they can't hang with Buffalo. If Kansas City doesn't want to go to Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs, I think the smarter play for them, honestly, is to let Mahomes sit this week and try to go win at Pittsburgh and at Denver. I think Pittsburgh is not fraudulent, but not that good. Their record is very good. And I think Denver is also a team that can be imminently beaten. But ultimately, this all hinges on whether or not Mahomes can play. I don't know that 1 week is going to make his high ankle sprain any better. The truth of the matter is the Chiefs, who can win anywhere in the playoffs, they might even be better off saying, well, blanket, we're going to be the 2 seed, and we'll just have to go on the road to Buffalo for the AFC Championship game. And honestly, maybe Buffalo will lose along the way because they could.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it when the Bills played the Rams in that game, and they quarterback sneaked from the 2-yard line and didn't get in the end zone. That ended the game. And that is a Sean McDermott problem. As I said then, and we've talked about it before, the Bills will always be let down by their head coach. He is a very good coach to a point. There are moments within games, it usually comes with clock management, where you go, what are you doing? and that will get them beat. The margins will get the Bills beat. Right now, Josh Allen is erasing the margins.
He is the team.
He's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore is, I think, going to catch Pittsburgh for the AFC North. And I think the interesting race is between Denver and the Chargers for the 6 and 7 seed. I'm not sure it really matters, except you'd like to avoid playing Buffalo, I guess. Although the other team you would play on the road would be Baltimore if Baltimore does catch Pittsburgh. Although maybe you catch a break, and it is Pittsburgh, who I think is very beatable in the playoffs. The Chargers and Broncos will play this week. The Chargers have already beaten Denver once. If the Chargers win this game and it's in Los Angeles, they'll be tied, but the tiebreak obviously goes to the Chargers. Detroit's banged up. You've got Detroit, Philadelphia, and Minnesota all with 12 wins. Right now, the Lions are so broken defensively.
It's so bad.
They're going to have to outscore their problems, and if they don't, as good as the Lions are, they could find themselves on the road for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Minnesota's good. Well, they're good. They ain't 12-2 good.
Right.
But right now, that's what they are. They are 12-2.
It's so sad to see the Lions get this far and that be what takes them out potentially.
They're so beat up on the defensive side of the ball. And they not having Montgomery also hurts offensively, but they can get away with it. They have an incredible offense, a little bit more burden on Jahmyr Gibbs, but ultimately it's a diverse passing offense, and they should be fine. Washington right now clinging to the 7th spot in the playoffs. Seattle is just a game behind at 8-6. Washington's 9-5. Washington's most important game this season is probably this week, at home to Philadelphia. I think Philly's really good, but Washington, if you're a playoff team, you have to stand up this week. This is the game. You blew it. You gave away your margin when you lost at home to Dallas. You threw it away when you lost at home to the Cowboys. They also have Atlanta next week, and then they finish the season at Dallas. So I just I wanted Washington to win that division so bad, not just because I have a ticket on it,
right?
But it would have been really cool, a great story.
Yeah.
But while we were rooting for the Commandos, Philadelphia has won 10 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of those teams you look at and you're like, how? How are they?
Well,
because I feel the same way about the Vikings. They've won games that they could have easily lost, and you look at their record and think, wow.
No doubt about it. Here's the thing about it. We spent a lot of energy like picking apart the Eagles. I guess Nick Sirianni at times does dumb things, and he acts like a child.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure that team isn't legitimately good.
Yeah,
so
they're showing it.
They can run the ball like crazy. I think they've got some defensive deficiencies, but they can run the ball like crazy. They don't need Jalen Hurts to be dynamic in the air, but he certainly can be. What I don't think the Chiefs, what I don't think the Eagles are good at is playing without the lead. If they've got the lead and can dictate the game, I think they're hard to beat. But I don't think they're very good if you've got the lead and can dictate the game. So anybody, I think, can beat them if they get their nose out in front. But, man, the way the Eagles run the football, it is hard. They just grind you down.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to Brian Geisinger when we come back, but I would like people to stop talking about the all-time rushing record. I don't know why this bothers me, but we're playing a 17-game season.
Yeah.
And the greatest rushing season of all time was done during a 14-game season.
Right.
Look at the yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
I know, the late O.J. Simpson isn't everybody's favorite person. He ain't mine either.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the greatest rushing season we've ever seen, 1973. He averaged about 100, almost 150 yards a game. Insane.
Wow.
All right. We'll break. Brian Geisinger on the other side. Is UNC, this team, fixable? Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am helping you celebrate the 5 days of Canesmas all week long on 99.9 The Fan. It's presented by Hardee's. Let's celebrate our hometown hockey team. Call 919-860-5326. Be the captain. Caller 11. You'll score a $50 gift card from Hardee's. 919-860-5326. Listen to The Drive this afternoon for more chances to celebrate Canesmas with us. Thanks to Hardee's. Unwrap the holiday goodness of our handcrafted favorites.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega this holiday season. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is the gift for every adventurer. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler. Learn more at baileybox.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else? Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch.
New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Pinch me, because Lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself. #AleYeah.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. I asked the question earlier. You can give your favorite team a gift. What is it? This is my last show of the year. And Chase says Anders Lee to play with Aho and Jarvie. Anders Lee plays for the Islanders. I'm like, really? That's your gift. That's what you want.
Out of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. We can do better than that.
Okay.
We can do better. Like, no offense. If you're a subscriber to The Athletic, I am. They do great hockey coverage, thanks to our friend Corey Lavalette, who does the Hurricanes coverage for The Athletic. They also do great soccer coverage. I'm addicted to the soccer coverage. Chris Kreider of the Rangers is number 1 on their trade chart. And you're asking for Anders Lee?
Right.
Come on. Be better. All right.
Reach higher.
Let me move on. I have a gift I would like for North Carolina basketball, UNC. Another year of eligibility for Armando Bacot. Please, please, please. Brian Geisinger at bgeis_bird on Twitter. It joins us on the Adam Gold Show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you guys?
I'm doing very well. So I asked the question earlier. I know you and I think we talked about this last week. I'm concerned now about UNC because I don't see enough in the middle to make me feel like they can win 13 games in the league or 14 games in the league, because I think that's the number they're going to have to hit in order to have a resume that looks like an NCAA tournament team. So I asked the question this way: Are UNC's problems fixable?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of this will correct itself to an extent, like once the schedule, evens out a little bit. And I think even if you go back to the LaSalle game, there were maybe some I know LaSalle's not like a great opponent or whatever, but it's not even in that game. Finally getting some Kate Tyson minutes where he looked pretty good.
Right. He's great against LaSalle.
So obviously not quite as good against Florida.
Right.
But I think getting like someone in the front court room that can add some stretch, like that would help a little bit. Or if Jalen Washington, who had promise as like a stretch shooter, at one point in his career seemingly, but has just like not been able. I think he's 0 of 7, 0 of 8 from deep this year.
Right.
They're very guard heavy. I ultimately think there's enough talent in the positions, sort of like the guard and wing positions on this roster, that in an ACC that doesn't look super duper strong. I still think North Carolina's going to win a bunch of regular season games with enough opportunities. And I ultimately think the R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble backcourt is going to be really, really good. But certainly there's an issue in the middle. The lack of sort of like a direct post hub is a problem, and perhaps even some of the issues with Elliot Cadeau recently too. I mean, I know he struggled sort of down the stretch in very like painful and obvious ways, but his play has just been kind of like below where he was at the start of the season. And obviously the shot has just like fallen off of a cliff again too. So I'll kind of be curious to see where his role goes. He's very important for them as a driver and a passer, but they've got, a guy like Ian Jackson that's sort of just like waiting there in the wings. I do think both Duke and UNC are kind of going through something this season now. I maybe even brought this up last week when I was on with you, just like, it'd be nice if one of those teams had someone that could just dump the ball into.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to run pick and roll and get the right coverage and make the right pass or hit a shot or something like that. But you could just get the ball in a position where – and Duke has this to an extent with Cooper. He's drawn a lot of fouls and he can score in the post too. But, he can't just overwhelm someone. He's not Ben Caro or Bacot, some of these real like tank interior players. And Duke never really has something like that in Patrick Gongba, but obviously he's, sort of physically not quite there this season, but down the line. And so, yeah, it's just going to be tough for them, I think, to find automatic offense every single game. That said, I don't think the offense is necessarily the problem for UNC. Like, they're still playing with good pace. They're still a top 25 offense, and they're going to make more threes as the season goes along.
Brian Geisinger is joining us here, and that's really, for me, the real problem. There's the one problem on offense that which manifests itself not having the big man, for me, is that they're not a good offensive rebounding team. I mean, they're at best decent at offensive rebounding, but they're also not a good defensive rebounding team. I mean, Florida killed them on the offensive glass. 41% of their misses, Florida collected. But it's not that they're just getting killed. It's just that they're not killing the other. They're still just giving away too much. I think they're in the 200s in terms of offensive rebounding, and they're not great at defensive rebounding. And Carolina used to live on the offensive glass, and now they don't. Yeah. And now they do, and the backcourt to me is too small, even though Trimble plays bigger. I think the backcourt right now is too small to be really good defensively.
That's definitely part of it too, with Cadeau and Davis. Like, you've got two sort of smaller guards, and like they're on pace to be, the worst offensive rebounding team UNC's had in 20 years. Of which I believe Armando Bacot was there for 17 of those. So
that's why one more year. Is it too much to ask? One more year of eligibility for him?
Gold, all good things must come to an end, man. I'm sorry.
My gosh, I just that's my gift. That's what I want North Carolina to have. The offensive rebounding for Carolina right now, they're in the like 225. Defensive rebounding, they're just over 100. So we're used to North Carolina dominating the glass, and they're not. I think the 3-ball for R.J. Davis will come back. It's kind of alarming that we're 10 games into the season and he's at 25%.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like, his role is a little different this season too, to an extent. Like, there isn't this like interior threat to play off of. But he's been a very good pick and roll, guard, shooter, and scorer for several years now. I'm pretty confident that maybe he won't get up to the 40% number he hit last season, but like, I'm not too worried. I don't think he's going to be, missing 75% of his threes for the rest of the season. Like, I think this is he'll start to like get going from there, and that will help some. But obviously, like, some of these more, larger structural issues, like kind of what you said at the top, like, some of those things aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that the front court stuff is fixable. I think there are decent players there. I mean, I don't mean to knock them. I don't see impact players that they can put at the 5, and I don't know that stretch 4 is something that like if you have a 5, then the stretch 4 is really good. I don't know. To me, they need a 5 way more than they need more stretch 4s. I love the 5 guys they can put on the perimeter, and I would consider Cade Tyson as one of those guys also, maybe 6 if he can get into the rotation on a regular basis. Because I like Powell and I like Jackson, and I think Cadeau's biggest problem is that right now he's overly emotional, and it's not overly emotional in a good way, right? I think he's kind of in his own head at this point. The turnovers are as big a problem as the fact that he's not shooting the ball very well at all. Let me ask you the same thing about State. And this is not about whether or not, I mean, they were always going to be a fringe tournament team anyway. But if I was going to ask for a gift for the Wolfpack, the end of last year's Michael O'Connell, that would be good.
That would be a good place. Just last thing, UNC was also really close to winning several of these games too. And,
right.
We could be talking about the season differently for them, but yeah, with State, I mean, I might go so far as to say another season of eligibility for DJ Horn. Like one sort of like special guard shooter for them would, I think, really cause everything else to sort of like fall into place. I mean, that's reductive, and I don't mean to oversimplify it, but it's like it would allow O'Connell just to sort of like shift into playmaker mode.
Right.
Jaden Taylor shifts more like, starting, it doesn't have to hunt shots as much and gets to just be like a good 3-and-D guard that can give you some catch and go drives. Marcus Hill just gets to be like, you get to just enjoy some of like all of the weird quirkiness of his game as this like good driver who can pass and do with his left hand and has a little mid-range game, but certainly struggles as a 3-point shooter. But just like one person who could come off screens or come off the ball screens and make teams pay off the dribble, like Horn, Jaquavion Smith. State has had guys like this under, Jarkel Joyner under Kevin Keith, sort of like special shot makers. And one person like that would, I think, like raise the floor of the offense pretty significantly. And just like it gets into a half court game, and like they were able to pull it out against Florida State by, and even had some good moments against Kansas, almost like playing through the post a little bit, which is something that they did plenty of times in years past with DJ Burns, but like neither Ben Middlebrooks or Brendan Hundley-Hatfield are like, real like double team threats down low on the block. So even then it's not, it's still a little bit like tougher sledding. That said, I thought those two guys, the two centers for State, had a good game in Lawrence. Like I thought both played well, that they played off of one another well. In State, if they could have just squeezed a little bit more out of their pick and roll action against the Hunter Dickinson hedging in space, I mean, they maybe could have made that a little bit more of a game, but just it got out of hand at the start, and State just doesn't have the tools to, on the road against an elite defense, really like win in the half court, barring just like a big time shooting game from O'Connell or Taylor.
Yeah, and by the way, now that I've seen Kansas play 3 times against triangle schools, I think the real strength of Kansas is not up front. I think Hunter Dickinson is way overblown as a player, but I think their guards, Kansas's guards and wings,
Harris, Mayo.
Oh my gosh, are they good? I love
Riley Griffin, who's been up and down too. Yeah, I mean they they brought DeJuan Harris back for his 6th season, and they went to the portal and got Mayo, Griffin, and Storr, and this Storr's an NBA prospect, so is Griffin, and Mayo is a really, really impressive college player that's been huge for them so far this season.
Yeah, I think Kansas is legit. Let me ask you one more thing before I let Brian Geisinger go. 24/7 Sports Buzzbeat podcast, Pack Pride. Split the action on the Substack. You got to do that. So other than Duke, and we'll put Clemson in that category, and Pitt. Duke, Clemson, Pitt, I think those are the clear 3 best teams in the ACC. It would help if Clemson would stop losing non-conference games now. You beat Kentucky, that's awesome, but now you've lost to both Memphis and South Carolina. No bueno. Who's the next best team in the league?
I mean, I guess North Carolina, right? Like we're sort of like, the optimized version of them is certainly like a top 4 team in the league. SMU has played well so far this season. Stanford, I just need to see it. Like, it'll be interesting to see what Stanford looks like kind of like heading into and out of the holidays, because Jalen Blake's, transferred out of Duke, has been awesome out there. Maxime Reynaud, who's legit NBA prospect at center that is super skilled and coordinated and can handle and play make in the middle. But we just haven't seen it. They had a good win against California a couple of weeks ago, but they just haven't played anyone else. I like Kyle Smith a lot as a coach, so like I'm putting like a TBD next to them. And same with Wake Forest, which I guess has like looked like somewhat encouraging with wins over BC and in the decent James Madison team. We'll see how they fare against Clemson on Saturday. That's a really big game on the road, which is they've sort of struggled on the road last couple of seasons under Steve Forbes. So I think there's a chance that several teams can sort of like jump into that spot, but I would say right now it's probably North Carolina. And then the one other team I would maybe highlight like just a little bit would be like, we need to see Notre Dame when Marcus Burton gets back too. He's missed a handful of games now. He's the ACC Freshman of the Year last year, which was dumb because it should have been Jared McCain. But Marcus Burton's very good, and he is sort of like the engine for their offense. They don't have anyone that can really replicate his playmaking and pick and roll creation. So I think there's a couple of teams that could sort of like solidify themselves at that. But right now, yeah, it's pretty murky.
Brian Geisinger, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. I'll talk to you anyway. Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, happy holidays to everyone.
You got it. Brian Geisinger here on the Adam Gold Show. We have one-timers when we come back. Questions and answers. See if I get them right next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
I'm Faith. I work as an American Sign Language interpreter, and I just graduated from my bachelor's program. I texted 988 because at the moment where I needed help, I realized that I didn't have access to English at the moment. Sometimes speaking gets hard for me, and they just helped me calm down, and then I was able to find a friend. It's free, and you can get in touch with people who are trained to help through all sorts of crises.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
My name's Kate Roper, and I live in Leicester, North Carolina. In September of 2023, I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It was just such a relief knowing that now that I'm covered by NC Medicaid, I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay for medical treatment now. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
Jumpstart your retirement savings at WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
We don't need Al Roker in a suit doing yoga.
No.
And Al, to his credit, recognized that and said, you know what? I am not getting into Warrior 2.
I'm stopping at Downward Dog.
There will be no, he didn't get to that. Heck no.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Next hour, Brett Friedlander. Saturday Down South, ACC reporter, columnist. He wrote early, I guess it was last week, about the Bill Belichick hiring. He worries that the emphasis on football will further damage ACC basketball. And it appears damaged. I don't believe that anything that the ACC has done with regards to football either has or can damage basketball. I think all of these things are independent of one another. That's my opinion. I can't draw. To me, it's, well, ACC basketball is down. That's because everybody's emphasizing football. Frankly, we're not doing a great job of emphasizing football, by the way, because football hasn't gotten that much better. But I just don't see those two things being connected. I don't. But we'll talk to Brett Friedlander about it. Right now, Q&A time, one-timers.
Okay, so I think this one's going to be all football because we do have Thursday Night Football tonight, and we might get to that as one of the one-timers. But first, this is your last one. So the Panthers play the Cardinals,
yes,
the Bucks, and then the Falcons. Do you see another win in there?
Yes. The last one.
Okay.
Falcons.
Yeah.
And they can beat the Cardinals, too. I don't want them to. I mean, I'm not rooting against them. But again, what am I? I don't have I have no emotional connection here. I want the best for the franchise. We know this year is done.
Yeah.
I would like to see them play well and lose. Mm-hmm. I would even like to see them play well and lose to the Falcons and get a high draft pick and come out of this draft with Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, moving on to tonight's game, the Buccaneers and the Chargers are both in the hunt for the AFC West playoff spot right now. They are playing in LA, so who do you believe will come out with a huge win tonight?
I think Denver is playing better than the Chargers. I just do.
Even with Harbaugh.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Jim Harbaugh problem.
No.
I think their receivers are not great. I have never been, and look, everybody loves Justin Herbert. I do not. I think Justin Herbert looks like he should be a great quarterback, and he just isn't. Sort of Trevor Lawrence, but a better version of Trevor Lawrence. I think he's okay. I understand numbers and all of that. Man, I just don't see Justin Herbert winning a lot of football games. Maybe he's had bad coaching. I don't think he's got bad coaching now. And the Chargers have been banged up. There's no doubt about that. I think Denver's playing better. I think Denver wins the game.
Okay, well, this one is probably because I just watched Enigma, the Aaron Rodgers documentary
Can't
yesterday.
believe that.
I know.
There's no way I would watch that. None.
All 3 episodes.
No chance I would
totally
watch that.
did. So the Jets are out of the playoff hunt. They're getting their golf clubs ready. How long do you see Aaron Rodgers either A, staying with the Jets, or B, being a quarterback in the NFL? Or both?
Unfortunately for the Jets, 1 more year. I think he's going to be back in New York next year. I really do. And I don't think the Jets are going to get into the playoffs next year with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. That is sad.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends down at Diamonds Direct Crabtree. I tell you all the time that there is no better place to buy what she wants than at Diamonds Direct Crabtree. Why? No middleman markup. You're going to pay less for the diamond that she wants or fine gemstone jewelry. Let me just tell you, my wife loves diamonds and sapphires together. So where did I get one of her anniversary bands? It looks exactly like her wedding band, but it's got sapphires and diamonds in it, and I paid about $2,500 less there than I would have paid anywhere else. Why? Because these are the people that make the fantastic jewelry. They will save you money. No markup. Best selection, best customer service, best experience ever. Diamonds Direct Crabtree. You can shop online, diamondsdirect.com. Get down there right now for the holiday. You should check it out. Shop online, diamondsdirect.com. But we'll see you at the showroom on Glenwood Avenue in front of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. Happy holidays.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling is celebrating 51 years of trusted service. And to celebrate, get a furnace tune-up for just $51. That's peace of mind heating for only $51. Visit MitchellHVAC.com. Mitchell Heating and Cooling. Quality products and services on time from a family you trust. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prices that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get your dream Honda during Happy Honda Days with a CR-V hybrid, Accord hybrid, Civic hybrid, or the all-electric Prologue. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord hybrid, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic hybrid, a 3.9% APR on a 2025 CR-V hybrid, and a 0.9% APR on a 2024 Prologue.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today. See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
The holidays are just around the corner, so now's the time to shop new deals at Lowe's. Make your home even merrier with up to 75% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, don't miss our limited time weekly deal drops on items like appliances, tools, grills, and more. There's something for everyone on your list. Count on Lowe's to help you save all season long, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 12/19 through 12/25. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening. But he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare and you want out, you need to get the facts. Wesley Financial Group and its founder, Chuck McDowell, have helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshares permanently, and he may be able to help you too. Call right now. Chuck will send you a timeshare exit information guide free explaining how your timeshare works and all your options for cancellation. You want to call Wesley Financial Group, 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. Once again, 800-761-0000.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I just love that his first portal signee was a center from Holy Cross. I mean,
they got a center from Holy Cross and a player from Delaware.
Mr. like 6th round draft pick from Marist, is of course going to be finding all these lacrosse players that are overlooked and under recruited. Why do we even need $20 million in NIL? I mean, Bill Belichick, he doesn't like first round picks. Why is he going to need $20 million in NIL?
How many times will he trade back in the transfer portal?
Yeah, that's exactly.
The Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. Literally today. Well, I mean, literally. You're always on the ones and twos. But you came in and you asked me earlier for my my holiday playlist because it's the last show.
Yeah.
Before I slide down the chimney.
Send you out with some of your favorites.
All of my favorites. You do a great job. I have.
Well, thank you.
I would never complain about the tunes. The tunes you spin.
I don't know. Does Steely Dan have a Christmas song?
No, they do not. They do not. Have you seen? I mean, you watched the Aaron Rodgers three-part Aaron Rodgers documentary. I can't even. There's a yacht rock documentary right now.
Oh boy!
So apparently, they asked Steely Dan, they asked Donald Fagen to be a part of it. And he was not thrilled.
Oh, no.
He was not thrilled to be lumped in with yacht rock. And I get it. Yeah. Because there is a negative, yacht rock is Christopher Cross, right? Sailing. Mm-hmm. It's Air Supply.
Yeah.
Toto.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Steely Dan, my personal favorite, seems beyond that.
Right.
But
maybe wouldn't lump them in there.
But I get it because it's not hard rock. I get why they're in that genre.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the doc takes Steely Dan's role in it very seriously, in that it's really praiseworthy of the music.
Okay.
For Steely Dan. It starts where everything is an offshoot of what Steely Dan did. And so I was completely hooked on that, but I watched probably the first half hour, and then it was late because it was when I got home from the hockey game. I think it was Sunday. So I got home. I can't watch this. It's like a 3-hour thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I will do.
Well, for people, go ahead.
I'm going to read a book
right.
or two during my break.
Right.
And I'm going to watch that doc.
Oh, you should.
And I'm never going to watch another episode of Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah. I finished it. That's the closing of a chapter, potentially.
Good.
So
good. That show was good for 2 seasons.
Aw. I like
And
that.
then everybody died. They killed everybody in the episode. In all of the episodes.
I know. Well, everybody had to go to the train station.
At some point, that cavern across the Wyoming border, there are too many bodies piled up in it.
Why does it smell so funny here, Dad? I don't know, son.
It's a county with no population. No population.
Yeah.
All right. The Pro Bowl no longer has a game, right? There's no NFL All-Star game. They realized a long time ago
it's garbage.
That, it's not good football, and players are getting hurt, or players are not going, and they didn't want to do it after the Super Bowl anymore, so they were trying to do it the week before, so it eliminated the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl. But frankly, the players didn't really want to play in it. They liked the, back in the day when they needed the extra paycheck, they certainly didn't hate that. You get paid for doing it. So what the Pro Bowl did was that they came up with a Pro Bowl games. And the truth of the matter is that all-star games are, to call them a thing of the past is probably unfair to an extent, because I do think that the top NBA guys kind of dig getting together for an all-star game. They don't play like they do. The all-star game as it's played is unwatchable. The NHL all-star game stopped being a real hockey game a long time ago, too. They play 3-on-3, which is fun, but it's not really representative of the National Hockey League. So the NFL just got rid of their game entirely. The only one that resembles real baseball is, the real sport is baseball. It still looks like a baseball game. It's played the same way. It's just the substitution pattern and the pitching is kind of silly, but the NFL decided, we're not even going to have a game anymore. So we're going to have different competitions. They are taking it to a new extreme this year. I don't know if you've seen this, Victoria, but it's over 2 days, and there's going to be a game show involved.
Oh,
yeah, this is completely different. So
is Travis Kelce hosting?
He might. They have not announced those things. I'm sure that he'll be participating in some way, shape, or form, unless he's in the Super Bowl, in which case he won't.
Mm-hmm.
So the quarterback thing is called Passing the Test. And when I saw the headline, the title for this skill, I thought, interesting title, Passing the Test.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a failed test generally means a suspension.
It does.
So I thought, well, maybe you should change the title. Anyway, quarterbacks are going to be throwing at targets. in different from different levels. But there's also they will be allowed to select a Pro Bowl teammate to answer 5 trivia questions about other Pro Bowl players. For every correct answer, the quarterbacks will be allowed more time to compile their score. I think a nice little wrinkle with that. Then we have the category for wide receivers called Satisfying Catches, presented by Snickers. Satisfying catches.
Too.
No Panthers receivers other than Adam Thielen can take part in this. I kid. Sorry.
Yeah.
Xavier Legette will not be part of this. One wide receiver, tight end, and defensive back from each conference will compete in the challenge obstacle course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Obstacle course.
Exactly.
It's like field day.
There's a lot of that here. There's a tug of war.
Oh, wow. And are there ribbons here, too?
There could be. There could be. Look, so for people who are my age, you don't remember this, but I will tell you, go to YouTube. This is no joke. People of my age or maybe even a little bit younger will remember this. Go to YouTube and look for an old ABC Wide World of Sports show called Super Teams. And this is these athletes didn't used to make the money they make today. Like, no joke. The athletes in the 60s and 70s, they made normal salaries. I kid you not. We had a batting coach for the Durham Bulls for I don't know how many years, 3-4 years, named Richie Hebner. I loved Richie Hebner. He was a player for the Cubs, Pirates, Mets, and in the offseason, he dug ditches.
Oh.
Not even lying.
It's very humble.
He dug ditches to make money.
Yeah.
These guys didn't make a ton of money playing a professional sport. It was decent living. Good living, but it wasn't what we see today. Anyway, the super teams they used the 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl and the 2 teams that played in the World Series, and they had essentially just different competitions to earn points as a team, and in the super teams, the last event was the tug of war.
Wow.
So, like Cowboys versus the Steelers.
Was there a mud pit in the middle?
It was sand. It was on a beach. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do a Google search, a YouTube search for super teams, and you'll see. I mean, and these guys battled.
Oh, wow.
They competed.
Was it like American Gladiators? I'm just getting all kinds of vibes from this.
I mean, it wasn't over the top like that. It was a legitimate competition. It was an offshoot of a thing called the Superstars, which they used to take athletes from all different sports, and they used to bring them together for it was sort of track and field, but it was a lot of different events. But the super teams was fun. Wow. Absolutely fun. You might go down a rabbit hole. I don't know. But so we're having a relay race. We've got the game show is called Helmet Harmony, a game show to test player knowledge of their teammates with every correct answer worth 1 point. The team with the most correct answers wins. I didn't need that last part. Thank you. They're going to play dodgeball.
Wow. It really is field day.
Oh, it's great. Perfect.
Where are the potato sacks?
There should be potato sack race. Yeah. There's going to be a punting competition. The great football race. 6 players from each conference will have a face-off in a relay race consisting of 5 different challenges, culminating with a sled push.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We used to call, I'm trying to remember what the term was when I was in camp. Like, I don't remember what the term was, but like somebody would have to, you'd build a pyramid out of milk bottles. And somebody have to throw a softball at them and knock them all down. And then once you did that, you can pass the baton to somebody else who had to shoot an arrow at a target.
Right.
It was weird, just weird stuff. And then the last event is the tug of war. That's your Pro Bowl games.
It has to be tug of war. I mean, has to.
I'm all about this. I'm all about this.
Sounds fantastic.
I'm telling you, do a Google search for super teams. Brett Friedlander, who is a man of my age, he's coming on next. He will remember this. I promise you he will remember this.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I need to go down this rabbit hole. This is awesome.
It will. See, I think you're patronizing me.
No,
That's fine.
I hope that they this just takes me back to field day. I hope that they do have ribbons because we went through a lot of stuff to get those ribbons on field day because that's what it was. Like,
egg
not
on a spoon?
everybody
Did you
got
do
a
egg
ribbon.
on a spoon?
What's
Carry an egg on a spoon?
Yes, we totally had the spoon one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was good. Three-legged race. We did that.
Yep.
Some people were better at that than others.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Got to get into a rhythm. You got to get into a rhythm.
And it helps if you're the same height, which was always my problem.
Yeah, that would have been my problem, too. I wasn't bad at the sack race, but I was good with the egg on a spoon.
Yeah.
I was very good with the egg on a spoon. All right, Brett Friedlander's going to join us. Well, I'll find out. I bet you he knew what the super teams were. It was fun. It's fun. The simpler times. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Move your sports day forward.
There's no teeter-tottering on this one. Bryce Young is an NFL quarterback. You don't need that proven to you any bit more. The conversation should no longer be about Bryce Young, I'm sorry to say. For those of you who want to harp on Bryce Young, search out the words Bryce Young and is he bad? Is he good? If you're looking for the clout has ended.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And here we are. Thursday night, it is time for the NFL. We've got the Broncos and the Chargers. And don't you know, these two teams are fighting it out for wild card positioning. I think they're both going to make the playoffs, but this should be fun. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you place your first $5 wager. Like Jim Harbaugh will be wearing pleated pants. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. $150 in bonus bets is there if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
During the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event, take advantage of huge deals on a wide selection of built-to-serve Ram trucks. And right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Hurry to the Ram Wrap-Up the Year sales event today. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 1/2/25.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. For some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. We've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Pinch me, because lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself. #AleYeah.
My name is Pryor. I'm with 157. We're currently in Finland, and I would like to give a huge holiday shout out to Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's my hometown. My mom, my grandma, my sisters, my homeboys, of course.
Edwards Inc., standing tall and proudly saluting all who have served and those who continue to serve this holiday season.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call.
If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. David on Twitter says that I should tell you about Battle of the Network Stars also, which was also a show, I guess it was originally on ABC, which would take the stars from different comedies and dramas on the three major networks. There were only three at the time, CBS, NBC, and ABC, and they would pit them in athletic competition against one another, and that was fun as well. As I responded to him, Gabe Kaplan, Mr. Cotter, was a ringer. He's a sneaky good athlete, Gabe Kaplan. And when that show was over, you know what Gabe Kaplan did? He was the host of a gambling show. They used to do, it was cheesy as all get out. But, yes, that's what Gabe Kaplan became, a professional sports bettor.
Man, look at him go.
Yes.
This is the time to be a professional gambler.
Mr. Cotter.
Yeah.
Mr. Cotter was a sports gambling freak. Unbelievable. So I'm just now seeing this, and my apologies for not knowing. I've been wrapped up in, we'll just call it Hurricanes hockey. Apparently the Panthers and Cardinals are not on locally?
See, someone asked me about that too, but I looked it up, and it says it should be on a Fox affiliate,
right?
And, statewide, that it should be covered. So I don't know.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Do something else? I don't know. I hate that for fans. We have to, this might not be the issue, but we have blackouts in all sports, right? So if you're a Braves fan and you live here, unless you purchase something extra, Braves games are blacked out. If the Braves are, you used to be like the Sunday night baseball game. Like if you didn't get, you'd get it blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't an exclusive where you couldn't watch it anywhere else, like if it was a Wednesday night game, you get it blacked out. Like we can't watch the Orioles or the Nationals in this unless you actually have MASN, which is not available on the cable packages or on YouTube TV. It's not available. We have to get rid of the blackouts. Does Paul have information on the affiliation? He does? Give him a mic. Boss man.
What's up, Gold?
What's up? Tell me, why can't we watch this game?
So I can't hear you, so I can hear you mouth. Okay. So I think I know what your question was about the Panthers game and having a television presence in the Triangle in terms of Raleigh and where it's going to be broadcast around the state. I have an email in my possession from yesterday, and I just glossed over it, and I found it. It is true. It will not be shown here on the local Fox affiliate. We'll be getting Philadelphia, Washington.
All right, it's a better game.
Well, I looked up the weather. It's going to be 40, the high, but it will be nice out. So we can do outdoor activities, I guess.
We're getting Philly, Washington.
Wow.
Again, here's the thing. There's a lot of Washington fans here, and I think there are probably Commandos fans that are going, finally. That is amazing to me. We're getting Philly, Washington. All right, well, I'm pumped for that game. Not sure I'm going to watch that either, but it is a better game. We're finding out so many things here. I don't know. That's too bad. I know we have more Panthers fans than Commandos fans, but it is a better football game. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure at this point it wasn't the choice of the local affiliate. It is what is given to you. So it is what it is. Brett Friedlander is going to join us. Mark Packer, who hosts ACC PM on the ACC network, put out something I think pretty interesting in that the 6, he calls them basketball brands in the ACC. Duke, and he did it alphabetically, Duke, Louisville, UNC, NC State, Syracuse, and Virginia have a combined 5 Quad 1 wins so far this year. And the ACC and Duke has 3 of them. We already saw, I think, the ACC's record against the SEC this year in basketball. ACC versus SEC record in basketball is 4-30. I can't even process 4-30. And it's amazing to me that it's against the Southeastern Conference, which traditionally the ACC has been the better basketball league. This year, not even close. I think Duke is as good as anybody. Duke has some challenges offensively. They don't really have a post offense. They can certainly score inside. Kamen Malawak is not yet a guy you're going to throw the ball down into the post and he's going to score. He can certainly dunk. They throw lobs to him occasionally, but he's not really an option for you offensively. But they are a great pick-and-roll team. They can run their offense from the high post. They do a lot of really cool things offensively that don't involve post offense. It would certainly make it easier if they could get something out of the post, but I think they can get away without it. I think they're as good as anybody, and the 2 losses that they've got were both down to the last possession or 2, and they had the ball with a chance to take the lead and maybe even win it. I am not concerned about Duke. I think Duke can win a national championship. I am concerned about everybody else. 100%. Brett Friedlander, Saturday Down South, ACC columnist, my friend. You wrote, now this is the reason I hit you up, I guess it was late last week, but I don't even remember when it was, beginning of this week, because you wrote that you thought that the emphasis on football was damaging basketball. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, so you'll have to crystallize it for me. I don't see a connection, but I want you to explain what you're talking about with, and maybe it has something to do with Bill Belichick and everything that North Carolina is trying to do to improve football. But do you think the two are related?
I do. I don't think Bill Belichick is related, but I think that is a signal that it's going to be escalated. I just think that more money, more emphasis, and money being NIL and that type of thing has definitely gone to football. And with a bigger piece of the pie going to football, it's got to come from other places: soccer, tennis, swimming, right, but also men's basketball and women's basketball. And I think we're seeing the start of the effect of that. I think it's only going to get worse. And as I mentioned in the column, one of the reasons why the SEC has gotten so good in basketball is the difference in the revenue. They've got money left over. They can make the kind of commitment we're talking about in football, but there's still enough left over that they can put it into basketball as well. And I think that the ACC can't do that because of the difference, because of the disparity.
So what's the Big Ten's problem? Because the Big Ten has more money than the SEC.
I don't know what the Big Ten's problem is, because their problem has gone Listen, when was the last time a Big Ten team won a national championship?
Michigan State, 2000.
Yeah, so I
that's what it
mean,
was.
their issues. I don't know what their issues are, but I think the ACC. I just think that, and this goes back to the John Swofford era. When they first started expanding with the Virginia Techs and Syracuses and Pittsburghs of the world, it was all done for football. Everything the ACC has done over the past 2 decades has been geared specifically toward improving football, and I don't know that it's been successful. And I think that the victim has been basketball.
Well, we can certainly have a conversation. Brett Friedlander, Saturday Down South ACC columnist, is joining us here at BFried ACC on Twitter, because there's a conversation about the experiment for football, and I'm not saying we should stop it, but the emphasis on football has not worked because, I mean, other than Clemson in the last decade, we haven't had great ACC football. I know Florida State got screwed last year. We can all agree to that, but I mean, it's been a minute since Florida State's been at the top of the game too. 2013 was when was it 2013 or 2012? When they won that title.
2012, and they've been through 2 coaches now since Jimbo Fisher. So, yeah.
Okay, so we could certainly talk about that. But I don't know that the expansion has hurt basketball, because some of the teams that the ACC expanded with have certainly been good, and some of the football brands have actually put good basketball teams out there. Miami's more often than not been good, went to a Final Four. I think Florida State was a national championship favorite in the year that got shut down because of the pandemic. And I feel bad that Leonard Hamilton's team didn't have a chance to win the ACC title in Greensboro that year. I remember them, like John, was it Swofford? Yeah, it was Swofford.
Yes, it was.
Swofford presenting the trophy to them in front of nobody before the quarterfinals on Thursday, because we weren't going to have anything. We weren't playing any more basketball, and I felt bad for that team because they didn't have a chance to prove it on the court. They haven't been good since. I think the bigger problem is that universities have simply not hired good enough coaches. Like Tony Bennett was a great coach. Virginia was good. I didn't like watching him, but I mean, I'm not knocking the way the level that Bennett could coach at. Louisville, when Rick Pitino left town, haven't really hired the right guy. Jim Boeheim hung too long at Syracuse, and now they're a mess. I watched their game against Georgetown that they lost. Georgetown hired the right guy in getting Ed Cooley. It took Georgetown a while. So I just think that they have not necessarily hired well. I appreciate the fact that Clemson kept Brad Brownell there, because I think he's a good coach, and it looks like they're going to be a pretty solid, good NCAA tournament level program as long as he's going to be there. But Georgia Tech should be better. They haven't hired. They've gone cheap because they have no money as a university, but they've gone cheap.
But that's what I'm talking about, though, Adam. I'm not talking that these programs have watered down the product, although some of them actually have. But I'm talking about the financial commitment. They've gone cheap at Georgia Tech. Why? Because they've got to compete with Georgia in football, because football drives the bus, because football brings in all the money, and that's the emphasis. So there's not enough money left to hire a top-level coach. So you've got to settle.
Well, they settled for the wrong guy, and they paid Josh Pastner a decent amount of money. So no offense to Josh Pastner, as a halfway decent broadcaster, but he wasn't a good coach.
No, and I tell you what, to every job that he had, he fell upwards because he was getting ready to get fired at Memphis, and Georgia Tech saved him and hired him away. So yeah.
So you can hire a guy on the way up, and I don't understand. We've chosen poorly. And I know for a lot of people, they think it's karma, in that, the ACC, which has been blamed for as the tipping point for the last 15 or 20 years of conference, really 20 years of conference realignment based on, taking Miami, Virginia Tech, and Boston College from the Big East. Then it was supposed to be Syracuse, but they got hosed. They eventually got in, but I just think it's been more circumstance. I just don't see a connection, because Duke looks like they're good in football. They have clearly made a commitment to football, and I don't think it's impacted basketball. And North Carolina, for the most part, I don't think football has had any negative impact on basketball. I think they missed on big men.
I just feel like that the resources that are being put into football are taking away from the resources that are being put into basketball, and it's there are a lot of factors, and the coaching is clearly one of them. I mean, you go from Coach K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim in his prime, Mike Bray, Rick Pitino, to the Kenny Paynes, Damon Stoudemire's, and Micah Shrewsbury's of the world. There's a drop off. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, legendary coaches step down eventually. Now, Jim Boeheim.
And I'll tell you something else too, Adam. NIL has had something to do with it as well, because other schools can afford better players, and I think the talent pool has spread out wider across other conferences.
But the NIL, Brett, the NIL is
West.
independent. The NIL is not about the money you bring in from TV. Now, there will be the revenue sharing. That'll be a bigger to me, that's going to be the bigger deal. The revenue sharing is going to be the bigger deal. Because the NIL, that's all independent. So, and maybe the ACC, it has nothing to do with football. Well, maybe it does a little bit, but the truth of the matter is that we have smaller schools, right? The ACC's biggest university is NC State, Florida State, right? And they're like the Big Ten. They've got 7 universities bigger than the biggest ACC school.
Well, look at right off the bat, Wake Forest is the smallest FBS school in the country.
Yep.
SMU is the second smallest. So,
and Duke's right there too.
Yeah. And then Boston College is a it's Boston College, but it's not a public university.
No.
It's a private Catholic school.
We have
there are a few of those. Yeah.
Half the league is are smaller private universities, and no other major conference has that. The SEC, other than Vanderbilt, entirely public. The Big Ten, other than Northwestern, entirely public. Big 12 is largely state universities.
Blame it on John Swofford for emphasizing academics. Come on.
No, emphasizing media markets.
Yes, that's right. Anybody who thought that Boston was going, we're going to get the Boston market. Well, I mean, look at the Boston Globe or the Boston Herald. BC is about on page 7.
Yeah.
Because you've got all those pro teams. It's a pro town.
It is a pro town, except for hockey.
Right?
Except for hockey, Brett. They love BC hockey. Yeah. When NC State starts playing and UNC, when they start playing NCAA hockey, we'll have hockey as an ACC sport. Notre Dame will play. We'll have Boston College, and we will kick rear end.
Don't hold your breath, though, because all the money that would go to starting those programs is going to football.
I understand.
Full circle.
All right, before I let you go, Brett Friedlander, Saturday Down South, ACC reporter. Do you remember the super teams?
Yes.
Right? I was trying to explain to Victoria, and I figured you and I are basically the same age, that you would understand what I was talking about. It was the team version of Superstars, which was amazing.
Listen, I could still see Wayne Gretzky running, the 100-yard dash.
Wasn't Wayne? This was it Gretzky? I remember a water skier named Wayne Grimditch was always good. Why I would remember that name is only because of the Superstars, but the super teams, Cowboys and Steelers going at it. I remember Robert Newhouse sweating with his face in the sand. He's got sand.
Those guys trying to swim too. That was was one of my favorites.
Gosh, what a time to be alive.
Didn't Howard Cosell do the commentary on that?
Of course. He and Gifford. Frank Gifford was the host, man. It was amazing. All right, Brett, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Adam, take care.
Take care, Brett Friedlander. I knew Brett would get it because Brett's my age. We didn't talk about Battle of the Network Stars, and that is unfortunate, but we didn't do that. Also, I threatened to talk hockey with Brett. Brett's a hockey fan. Yeah.
That's right. Didn't he just go to a hockey game? Or he may
have
have had his granddaughter at the new one.
He might have. But he is one of those Canes tweeters that sometimes I get mad at. Right?
I see.
Sometimes I get mad. It's fine. It's all right.
It's okay.
But no, they've played well the last 2 games. Real quick, since I've got a minute here, I could talk a little bit about our Carolina Hurricanes. A very encouraging game for the most important position in the sport. If your goaltender is not good, it's hard to win. It's hard to outscore your problems. Now, we have a definite dividing line between the regular season and the postseason. In the regular season, you can get away with a lot. You can get away, and Carolina was getting away with subpar goaltending for the first, let's just say, 20 games. For the first 20 games, roughly, the Hurricanes were getting away with subpar goaltending. And then, when they stopped outscoring their problems, and they were scoring 3 goals a game as opposed to 4 goals a game, doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. They had a hard time overcoming their goaltending problems because they started giving up 3.5 goals a game as opposed to 2.5 goals a game. And you see how the margin changes. So for the first, it was like 18 games of the season, the Hurricanes were outscoring their teams, their opponents, by 1.5 goals per game. There was a time, I think the Hurricanes were like 14-4, where the Canes were averaging 4 goals a game, and they were giving up, this is no joke, 2.3. So it was actually 1 goal and 2/3 more than they were allowing. So you can overcome a whole bunch of soft goals in that group. And then, in this stretch that the Hurricanes have been in, where they actually went at one point 1-2 and lost 5 in a 7-game stretch. But it actually extends a little bit before that, where their average goals per game dipped to about 3, and their goals allowed per game went to about 3.5. So now you see the margin go the other way. And now is where you can't overcome the bad goals. And Pyotr Kochetkov, it's not just about Spencer Martin. Martin he played a couple of really good games, but for the most part, he was Spencer Martin. He's an American Hockey League goalie who gave Carolina a few good starts last year and gave him a couple of good starts this year. But ultimately, Carolina's number 2 goalie right now, whether it's Martin or Dustin Tokarski, really is a minor league goalie. And Kochetkov wasn't playing well enough to make those occasional starts by the minor league guy, right? Anything other than, we'll see what happens. Dustin Tokarski, they needed the win over Columbus, and Tokarski played wonderfully. And I actually argued that I would start Tokarski again, back-to-back, to send the message to Pyotr, dude, you need to be playing these games. You need to play as often as possible because you're the NHL goalie here. And against the Islanders on Tuesday night, he played like it. There were no blips. There were no dips in performance. We still had a little bit too much excitement with Pyotr, throwing his stick around, diving out to break up a breakaway 25 feet from his net, like that only Pyotr Kochetkov does. But he was so good during the game. We didn't even need spectacular saves. He just made there were a lot of good chances. The Islanders could have scored 3 goals, 4 goals very easily. But he made it look simple. And that's all he's got to do. Just be steady. Don't allow bad goals. If you don't allow bad goals, Kochetkov is good enough to be really good if he can eliminate the softies. And that's what happened Tuesday. Best thing I've seen in the last month of Hurricanes hockey. Better than a Sebastian Aho 5-on-5 goal was watching Pyotr Kochetkov play a really good 60-minute game. So let's see if they can do it. This road trip, Washington tomorrow against the team that right now looks to be the best in hockey. Not even going to lie. A lot of people didn't think Washington would make the playoffs. Right now they're 26-2. No, they're a little bit more than that. They've Hurricanes and Capitals have each played 31 games. Hurricanes are 20-10-1. So the Capitals are actually the Capitals have lost 2 in a row. I think the Capitals are 28-2. Again, that doesn't add up either. Who knows? But Washington's been great, and they lead the Metropolitan Division. And then a day off, and they go to New York against the Rangers, who are reeling. Rangers are now 15-15-1. Yeah. And they want to trade everybody and fire everybody. I'm totally serious. I cannot explain why the Rangers suddenly are bad.
Yeah. Oh, so sad.
You hate to see it. Except that here's what I know. They're not going to be bad Sunday.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
They will not be bad
It's just
Sunday.
like the Islanders. They can stink all year, but then once they're up against the Canes, boom.
And then they go to Nashville, and you talk about bad. I think they have the worst record in the Eastern. No, they're in the West. They're among the worst teams in the Western Conference. Again, shocking based on all of the additions they made, including Brady Shea. So Washington Friday, New York Sunday, Nashville Monday, open up presents Wednesday. Hopefully there'll be a lot of presents to open up in these next 3 games. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll stretch and place bets next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AGS will get you started today, and we will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
A crisis moment is any moment where you feel overwhelmed and as if you aren't able alone to handle what's happening. You don't have to be alone with that feeling. And when that feeling comes is exactly when you should reach out, you should get connected, and you should be in community. We care, we listen, we help. Call, text, or chat 988 anytime.
Call, text, or chat 988-24/7.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we
seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. I tried to make my son listen to, this is TLC, of course, top 5 Christmas song of all time. I tried to make my son listen to the TLC album Crazy, Sexy, Cool because I thought he would dig it. And he's looking at me like I have 4 heads.
What? Ugh.
Come on.
I know.
Who doesn't love that album?
It's good music.
It is tremendous. I love everything about that album. All right, let's stretch.
Well, we've talked about this before. The whole jumping into the kettles,
yes.
Salvation Army kettles. Well, Chase Brown recently did this when they were playing Monday Night Football against the Cowboys on December 9th. However, he didn't know that you could get fined for doing that, which he did. So he actually did end up getting fined. Because,
that's right. Because it's a prop.
It is a prop, and that's the problem.
That's stupid.
It is so dumb. The fine is, quote, unsportsmanlike conduct because players aren't supposed to use props during touchdown celebrations, even though it's now a tradition in Dallas to do this. But they're not consistent with who they fine because Ezekiel Elliott wasn't fined during his celebration in 2016, but then he was in 2018. And then apparently last year's Thanksgiving Day game, multiple Cowboys did it and weren't fined. So I don't know if they're just like, we kind of need a little extra money. I don't know. So yeah, I guess they didn't like his celebration too much. So yeah, he found out at the end of the game in a post interview that was a thing. He had no idea because he was asked if it was worth it. He was like, no, I don't make enough money for that, which we all know that's a lie, but whatever. So yes, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and he definitely is going to be fined. Oh, but the fine, really, he doesn't have enough money for this. The fine is $5,000. It's like $5,481. It's very specific.
The fines for stuff like this are intentionally low.
Yes, right. Well, that's what it is. It's like $5,400, but he doesn't have the money for that. So, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Now, one thing that I thought was funny is now it's the holiday season, so a lot of people are searching for things to watch, and it has crossed my mind multiple times how much time I actually spend looking for stuff to watch. Because back in my day, love saying that, back in my day, we didn't have all of these streaming services to kind of look for stuff. So there was a new poll that found the average American wastes about 110 hours a year just looking for stuff.
What?
That's about 4.5 days worth of time, or roughly 1% of your year that you'll never get back.
Looking for stuff
Just
on channel
looking,
surfing.
searching.
Looking for something to watch.
Yeah,
All right.
just to find something to watch. And I'm
Read a book.
totally guilty of that sometimes because you don't want to, especially when it comes to movies, you don't want to sit through a 2-hour movie and it be garbage. So,
Right.
yeah, I get it. I'm guilty. But, yeah, we spend a lot of time doing this. So, and I'm not the only one. 1 in 5 people think it's harder to find something good to watch now than it was
We have
10 years ago.
17 billion channels.
That's why. That's why, because the most common complaint is that streaming services are loaded with too much of the old stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's why I like to ask friends or just Google. So Google has been kind to me. If you want something very specific, like I like thrillers, psychological thrillers, suspenseful movies, you just Google that stuff, and sometimes you'll get like a handful, and it at least narrows it down some. So maybe you'll get some advice with our bets.
Place your bets, place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right. Did I win anything yesterday? I have. I'll check in a second. I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't have any picks yesterday, so I'm safe at least there. But today, all football, Thursday night football, the Denver Broncos are in LA taking on the Chargers. A big game for the AFC West playoff hunt. Give me Bo Nix to be an anytime touchdown scorer. He's plus 350.
Bo Nix. Well, it's pretty good.
He's good at doing that.
He is. He's having a very good year.
Yes, he is.
You asked me earlier. I think Denver wins the game outright. I think we have a little bit of a defensive struggle here. Give me the Broncos to win under 41.5 plus 273.
Oh, well, I love the first half totals.
Yes, you do.
Oh, these are good, and these are good to put on a parlay, or you could take it outright because I'm taking first half total. I'm actually going to take the over with this one, which is set at 20.5. That's plus 105, so you could just take that if you want. You don't have to put it in a parlay.
You don't.
Or you can.
There are no rules.
Yeah.
Do what you like. All right, we have 4 college football playoff games. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. 4 college football playoff games this weekend. Indiana, we didn't talk Clemson or SMU football with Brett. My mistake. Indiana's at Notre Dame. I want the Hoosiers plus the 7.5 points. I want SMU plus the points at Penn State. I think that could go the other way. That's the one I'm really scared about. But I'm trusting that SMU will make it closer than it should be. Clemson plus the dozen at Texas. And Tennessee plus 7.5. I think that's the best chance of an upset on the road is the Volunteers at the Horseshoe. All 4 underdogs plus the points plus 1188.
Oh, wow. Yeah, all 4 underdogs. Yes. My last one, also taking an underdog. I'm just going to pick the winner for tonight. As much as I don't want Sean Payton to win, I will forever not like him as a Panther fan, but I think the Broncos are going to win on the road. They're plus 125 right now, so I like it.
All right. 3 triangle-centric bowl games. We have Connecticut and North Carolina. I like the Huskies in the game. We have NC State, East Carolina. I like the Wolfpack in the game. And I don't like Duke to win, but Duke's going to keep that one closer than it should be. Give me the Blue Devils plus 14.5. And if you combine those 3, it's plus 521. That seems like doable to me.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Coach Pete Duruta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. Why do I call him Coach Pete? People have asked me that, and I tell him because he has a total customized game plan for your retirement needs. Not everybody has the same needs. Not everybody is at the same place along the employment spectrum. Not everybody wants to retire early. Some people want to work for the rest of their lives. Coach Pete can design a customized retirement plan for you, for your needs, where you are and all of that, that will give you everything you need when you do decide to hang them up. 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700. Same deal. We're going to get you that total customized game plan for free. It's a $1,000 value for somebody else. Coach Pete Duruta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. 888-843-0013. 888-843-0013 for Coach Pete.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days with a sporty new Civic, Accord, HR-V, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord or CR-V, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic, and a 3.9% APR on a 2025 HR-V.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I don't see a way in which this works. This is not going to be the proof of concept that people want it to be that Deion Sanders was, because Deion Sanders can relate to a 17, 18-year-old kid. Will Belichick do that? No. And I think Belichick's going to bring the staff that he thinks that would get this done, but that's not going to be the staff that's going to actually cut through.
I understand that delineation. I do. Belichick, old guy. Means 72. Deion Sanders, not as old guy. But an old guy. But not as old guy, plus we watched Deion play. Now, zero of today's players, other than YouTube, they have not seen Deion play. They did not experience the Deion Sanders that we watched as younger people. He was an experience all to himself. You know, we've talked about like two-sport athletes. Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson to me is the greatest two-sport athlete of all time. And I appreciate the fact that he chose baseball over football. It makes me angry that football ruined his baseball career, because it did. The football injury he suffered with the Raiders against, I believe it was the Seahawks, that injury ended his effective baseball career, ended his football career too. But he was he was unbelievable in both sports. For Tar Heel fans, Julius Peppers was similar. Peppers was an amazing basketball player. Probably could have been an NBA player. Obviously, he's Hall of Famer in football, so I think he chose correctly. But Deion Sanders played both at the same time, like really at the same time. Bo didn't show up to football until baseball was over. Deion played them both. In fact, played both on the same day. He played, I guess it was for the Falcons, and then played for the Braves in a playoff game. Deion was an incredible baseball player. Reds, Braves, Yankees. And he might have played for somebody else too. He was an incredible baseball player. Could have been an all-star. No joke. Could have been an all-star. In fact, the Falcons at one point had two guys who played two sports on the same team. Not only Deion Sanders, but Brian Jordan, who was a very good player for the outfielder for the Braves. Rather a player for the Falcons, outfielder. I guess he played for the Braves, also played for the Cardinals. I think he was with the Cardinals at the time. But Deion was awesome. But these young guys, they didn't watch Deion play. Might have seen clips of him on YouTube, but they didn't see him. They didn't see him play. But I think the larger point is sound in that in recruiting, these guys, they're not going to treat Belichick the way that they would treat Deion. But the players themselves aren't the only people you recruit. The parents who are looking out for the best interest of their children, if these kids are thinking about, I want to play in the National Football League, well, the guy who's won 6 Super Bowls just might be able to help get them there. And I would not discount that being a part of the recruiting process in a positive way for UNC and Bill Belichick. With that said, let's move on to the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
While we're talking about it, might as well bring in Rob Gronkowski here. He's now doing stuff for Fox. By the way, I hope everybody has seen the Fox Bros, where they have Brady, Edelman, and Gronkowski as like a panel.
Oh, boy.
It's hysterical.
Wow.
I saw the one where Brady did a little riff on Belichick as a college coach. It was awesome, but those guys are funny. Anyway,
what a trio.
Oh, it's tremendous. Gronkowski on Bill as a college coach at UNC.
Have to ask, your longtime NFL coach, he's going to college. Bill Belichick going to the Hoodie, going to Chapel Hill. How do you think he'll do there?
Well, Coach Belichick, he's going to do an awesome job coaching those young bucks at UNC. I love the guy. I'm wishing him nothing but the best, and he's going to make college football that much more suspenseful, that much more fun, and that much more interesting, and I can't wait. The guy's a winner. He's going to eventually be winning games at the University of North Carolina as well, and I'm wishing him nothing but the best. I'll be tuning in just like everybody else.
Enjoy the game. We'll see you post-game.
Yes. Hey, Coach Belichick. Hey, all you players go out there, and Coach, you can sign me a little dough as well then. Let's go. I'm working for you right now. I'm a recruiter.
Gronkowski, man. Suspenseful?
Doing
okay.
Gronk things.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Dave Canales, Panthers coach, on evaluating Bryce Young.
Playing smart and situational football. You know, we've had some great opportunities to do that throughout and ultimately finish. And that's the part that, you know, that I wish that we can continue to press to capture the right finish, finishing in a 4-minute or finishing in a 2-minute to end the game, you know, with opportunities as we've put ourselves in position to play against teams late into games. So I'm really hoping for that style to come alive and for Bryce to just take the next step, to execute the game plan, to just do his one part, you know, and be special when it's called upon. You know, it's only a couple times a game, and the rest of the time just do your part.
Interesting. I think there's some merit there. I think, you know, he's talking about 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill. You know, you get the ball back with 4 minutes with a chance to kick a field goal, win a game, or run out the clock with the lead. So that part necessarily hasn't been there, even though Bryce has brought his team from behind to either tie or give your team the lead, and it's been the other stuff that has gotten in the way. Remember, and I think the 4-minute drill is what he's talking about with Kansas City, right? They settled for the field goal to tie. Was that true? Or they tie it with a tie? I don't even remember anymore. It might not have been the Kansas City game. Might have been other games where they ended up needing their defense to make a stop or whatever. Kansas City went down the field, kicked the field goal, right, and won the game. You ended up going over. Oh, it was the Buccaneers. They settled for the field goal against the Buccaneers. And ultimately, Tampa tied them with a field goal, right? And that's where he's talking about 4-minute drill. Of course, they win the game if Chuba Hubbard doesn't fumble in overtime. And then Xavier Legette drops the pass against Philadelphia. They win that game if he catches the ball. So, but I think for the most part, I think Dave Canales has a very good point in that as good as it's been, there's more for Bryce Young to do. And it's okay to demand those things. So Doug Gottlieb, frequent guest when we're at Final Fours or wherever on this program. I've probably talked, 4 or 5 times to Doug. Somewhat controversial. Is not only still doing his daily radio show, nationally syndicated radio show, he is the head basketball coach at Wisconsin Green Bay. So this is from their press conference in the beginning of the week, getting ready for their game against Division II, Michigan Tech.
Tiers on who to schedule, like nobody. And part of the reason I want to play better teams is like it's 2 degrees outside, snowing. Like I don't really like the idea of nobody you coming in here and like I always thought, like, what do we learn playing a game where we win by 20? But there's a methodology to it, and I'm going to have to adjust moving forward.
Okay, so Wisconsin Green Bay invited nobody you, Michigan Tech, a Division II school in. He referred to it as nobody you. Michigan Tech 72, Wisconsin Green Bay 70.
Yeah, about that. Yikes.
The Phoenix, that's what Green Bay is, have lost 8 in a row. They are 2-11 on the season, and according to this metric, the 320th best team in college basketball. It's not going well. It's just not going well. All right, one more thing, and then we'll jump out of here. This happened Tuesday night. The bench interview during the Hurricanes and the Islanders, where Kevin Weeks is doing color for ESPN, and he has the question for the head coach of the Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
You talked about your third line, how much they influence the game and tilt the ice. They've done that. What have you seen from them?
Well, which line is the third line?
I'll go stall for you.
That's not the third line, but they do it right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're I think the number one line, but you can call it what you want. They've done a great job all year, and obviously tonight's been good so far.
Don't you dare disparage Jordan Stahl's line.
Exactly.
Don't you even dare.
Whose line is it anyway?
Great
Sorry,
show.
I had to. It was a great show.
Great show.
It was
My
fantastic.
gosh, that was a good show.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. Yeah, don't go there with Rod. First of all, two things. One is critical of the head coach. He doesn't want people to label lines. Oh, we don't label our lines. You just did. You just called them your number one line. But they do things the way the head coach wants them to be done. And they do it that way all the time. And all of the underlying metrics have that line as Carolina's best line. All of them. So, is what it is. And right now, Jordan Martinook's 8 goals are exactly the same number as Seth Jarvis. He's played more games. Jarvis has missed 7. Martinook hasn't missed any. But
still, it's great.
Number 48's having a good year.
Oh yeah,
he is. I would argue he's never. I would say he's never played better, and I think Martinook is putting himself into like hurricane great territory. I am not kidding. He is, in many ways, the culture that this team has developed over the last 6+ years. He just epitomizes everything the head coach stands for. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Brooke Pryor covers the Steelers for ESPN. We'll ask her if she thinks they're going to hang on and win this division. They've got a tough finishing stretch. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're serving up some fresh AFC action.
Here we go. Woo!
It's Denver and the LA Chargers. Pre-game starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Y'all know what time it is, huh?
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Hey, together, baby. We just do this one play at a time.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
We came here for one thing, to win.
Hi, everyone. It's Adam Gold, and may I be of some assistance to you right now. If you are a contact lens or glasses wearer, I'm going to make your life better. Dr. Lori Travers actually is going to make your life better. I am just making sure that you are aware that you can get rid of contact lenses and glasses forever, make your life better, ultimately save you money, because I have not spent a dime in the last 13 years on contact lenses, prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, solutions, all of that stuff I don't pay for anymore because I don't need them. Dr. Lori Travers worked on me. She worked her magic. 5 minutes per eye. I went from 20/250 to 20/20 vision. It has been glorious. I just wake up every day and go. You can do the same thing. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. TraversLASIK.com. The consultation is free. Travers LASIK, see what you've been missing.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prices that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Health Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? This holiday season, give yourself the gift of sleep. At Parkway Sleep Health Centers, we've treated sleep disorders for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. From all of us at Parkway Sleep, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas. But sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Lagos, Marco Biccigo, and Ippolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Crabtree Valley Mall, and Cary's Fenton. Also in Rocky Mount and Greenville. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza!
Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. This is the last show I will host before the turn of the year. So we'll see everybody on the 2nd of January. We'll get ready for the Gator Bowl, or I like to call it the Cutcliffe Bowl, between Duke and Ole Miss. They'll be playing that game that night. I think it's like a 7:30 game. It's a hockey game that night, too. So that's another time I will not watch the football game. We'll have Canes hockey that night. Canes will play 6 times while I am out. I will cover all 6, so there will still be podcasts, and there will still be storm watches and aftermaths. So I won't be too far away. Right? I know.
I know you'll be close.
Yes, I will be close. I always am. Brooke Pryor covers the Steelers for ESPN. Our friend. I'm glad we worked it out where Victoria was here when you were coming on, so you guys had a chance to connect. How are you, my friend?
I am better now that I got to talk to Victoria before I went on air. I feel like that was your Christmas present to both of us. So
I have
thank
more.
Thank you so much. You're in the giving spirit, the giving mood.
I try to be as often as I can, whether the holiday is near or not. The Steelers lost to the Eagles, and people were then going, "Are the Steelers done?" I would like to point out that the Eagles are 12-2, and the game was in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. It seems like we do this with every team every year. I do think Pittsburgh's closing stretch of games is very challenging. How do you characterize their position in the playoff race and how they're playing right now?
I really think that this game against Baltimore on Saturday is going to tell everyone a lot about the direction of these Steelers going into the postseason and how far they'll go in the postseason. Because you're right. I mean, the Eagles are a wagon. They've had their issues this year. They're very public issues. But, at the end of the day, they are a very good football team. And I think to me, the loss in and of itself is not concerning, but the way that the Steelers lost is starting to put some red flags at half-mast. They're not all the way up, but there were things in that game that are concerning. The poor tackling, for one, was really eye-opening, and that's a tough thing to correct when you're going into that stretch of 3 games in 11 days. You're not tackling to the ground in practice. They're not even wearing pads in practice, so you have to hope that was just a blip. And then offensively, I mean, they couldn't run the ball. Najee Harris has that fumble that is very rare. That's not something that he does often. And although it was charged to Russell Wilson, not Najee Harris, but
Right.
still, I mean, he was surprised that it did get charged, that it didn't get charged to him. And also, they weren't really able to have the number of explosive plays that we've seen recently out of this offense. There didn't really seem to be anyone that filled the George Pickens
Right.
void, and I would be really surprised if he plays against the Ravens. But the thing that I think about is the 2020 season when the Steelers started off 11-0, and then they lost to the Commanders in a weird COVID rescheduled game. Kind of felt like just a weird week. And then they ended up losing 4 of their last 5. They made the playoffs. They hosted the Browns in the playoffs and lost that game pretty definitively. And it felt like that Commanders loss was really the thing that just set off this cascade of bad, just bad juju, bad momentum. And I want to see how the Steelers respond to the loss in Philly against Baltimore to see if they can stop this from snowballing into these next couple games. Yes, they've made the playoffs, but they can still win the division. They can still host a home playoff game. They still have not won a playoff game since 2016, and they have a real shot to break that streak this year.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons for it, a lot of reasons for the offense not being as explosive as it was. And it was interesting that Justin Fields more of a runner than a thrower, but the Steelers' offense, their running game got better when Russell Wilson took over as quarterback because he presented more things for the defense to worry about. All of a sudden, now George Pickens becomes even more of a weapon, and they haven't had him. And what they haven't had is really dynamic play out of anybody else, right?
Yeah, and I think that one of the surprising things is that Mike Williams has been a non-factor since he had the game-winning touchdown catch against the Commanders. I thought that with George Pickens out, well, surely they'll just slide Mike Williams into that spot. But for whatever reason, he is just not being used very much. And I think that that's a mistake. I don't know if the coaching staff is seeing something in practice that tells them he's not ready to be used like that, or if there's not the same rapport between him and Russell Wilson the way that there is with Russ and George Pickens. But Mike Williams is really good at contested catches, at bringing the ball in and tight window throws. Those are all things that George Pickens is good at. You know, Mike Williams is not George Pickens, but he still is a vertical threat that they need. So that has been surprising. I mean, Pat Fryermuth has been really good. He has touchdowns in 3 straight games, but they need a receiver beyond just Calvin Austin, who is also been a really solid player. But the last time the Steelers played the Ravens, Pickens had 12 targets. He had 8 catches, 89 yards. Since then, they've really been spreading the ball out a lot more, and it works to an extent, but I am very interested to see how they manage this Ravens defense that is really taking away explosive plays. They're going to have to be okay checking the ball down, getting a lot of yards after catch.
Well, the last time these two teams played, it was a field goal fest. The Steelers won. They kicked 6 field goals. The Ravens only kicked 3, right? They had a touchdown and 3 field goals. Was that how that?
I believe that's right. Justin Tucker had 2 misses.
Yeah.
Hell was not frozen over, but I think the temperature did drop a little bit when that happened. I wouldn't expect that to happen again this week, even though he struggled. But I mean, that was a big reason, a big thing that helped them.
Yeah, but I mean, 6 field goals in many ways, that's an unacceptable offensive performance, even though you obviously got in position to have 6 scoring drives. They've got obviously need to correct that, but it does come back to your ability to run the football for that team. Are they going to get TJ Watt back?
That, I think, it is more certain than the other defensive injuries. I don't think that he's going to go into this game without an injury designation. I would expect him to be listed as questionable, but looking at the trajectory of how he's practiced this week, he didn't participate Tuesday and limited Wednesday. The injury designation practice report isn't out today, but watching him, it looked like he was participating more than the last couple days. The man's also an alien and is probably capable of healing himself, like regenerating an ankle in 5 days. So I think that he will be available, which is huge because the Steelers' defense has been so good at figuring out Lamar Jackson in a way that nobody else can. And the outside linebackers are a big part of that, and TJ Watt is probably the biggest part of that. And they'll have Alex Highsmith this week, which they did not have the first time they played the Ravens.
Yeah, my guy. My guy, Alex Highsmith, shouts to his dad, who might be listening in Wilmington right now. Brooke Pryor covers the Steelers for ESPN. The other team you used to cover, you talk about healing an ankle. Can Patrick Mahomes do the same thing with a high ankle sprain? You cover the league. If you were the Chiefs, would you play him this week, or would you give him another week off?
Any other player, no, you don't play him. But he's Patrick Mahomes, and he has played through worse. The fact that he's been a full participant in practice every day this week tells me that they're going to play him. I mean, the Chiefs don't have to win this game in Houston to still clinch the number 1 seed. I mean, I think that it's going to come down to the Chiefs in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I think that the Chiefs, they know
I think they do have to win it.
Mahomes, because they've shown him again. They do have to win it. That's what.
Yeah. Is that what you said? I'm sorry. I blanked.
No, I think I blanked and said they don't have to win it. I get to this point in the season, and I just wait for the playoff scenarios email to come out every week, and that kind of clears things up. But Patrick Mahomes, I tweeted this after I saw the injury. I said, okay, now the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, because it's like clockwork. Usually it happens in the postseason, so they're a little ahead of schedule, but Mahomes will have some kind of injury that you think, oh, there's no way that he can play through this. Like, they're done. And then they win it all, and that's what this is. It's just, a little early this year.
Yeah, because Buffalo has 3 byes to close the season out. They play the Patriots twice and the Jets once. So they're going to finish 14-3, and they've beaten Kansas City. So Chiefs have to win twice in their last 3 games, and none of them are easy. Houston, they're going to be at Heinz Field. Is it still called Heinz Field? What is it called now?
Acrisure Stadium.
Is that a ketchup?
It is not. It is an insurance company, I believe. It's not nearly as catchy.
That's not delicious at all. You can't eat insurance. And they also play at Denver to close out the season. And the Broncos might need that for, at the very least, seeding, because the Broncos and Chargers are battling it out for 6-7. I think we know. Do you see a team in the AFC that can sneak into the playoffs, really?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm trying to think of who's even on the bubble. Usually it's the Steelers, and it's weird that they've already clinched, and it's kind of allowed me to tune out the rest of the bubble.
I think Miami has a chance, but that loss last week, I thought, killed them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Broncos are just the most interesting team that would be a wild card team. I mean, the league has to be looking at this saying, wow, we truly could not have scripted this better. If the Broncos end up coming to Pittsburgh in the first round, that would just be,
oh my
ratings
gosh,
gold. They'd get to make up all of the, Russ obviously didn't play when they went to Denver and won and still got the petty game ball from Mike Tomlin. Imagine now Russell Wilson playing in the playoffs, chance to give the Steelers their first playoff win in almost a decade against his former team that went south so quickly, former coach that didn't necessarily enjoy working with him. I mean, that would just, the league simply couldn't dream it up better than that. So that, to me, is the most intriguing team. And I think the Broncos are playing really well. I mean, Bo Nix has really surprised me. I've been pleasantly impressed with him this year.
Yeah, I think this game, the Broncos and the Chargers coming up this weekend, is simply one of the best games on the card. And I like Denver. There's something about the Chargers that is leaving me flat. Maybe I'm scarred by past Chargers performances, but I have not been super impressed. They probably should have beaten the Chiefs, right? A few weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they let it get away.
Yeah.
Brooke Pryor.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I was going to say that they did it. That is the Chargers' curse. Their curse is injuries and also wins that get away that they should have had.
Yeah, but you would think that would have been eliminated with a better coach, because I think Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach, and they haven't been coached by elite coaches for a long time. I can't remember the last one the Chargers had. Was it Marty Schottenheimer?
That is a good question.
Don't even worry about it.
I was going to say, now you're asking me to go back in my brain, and I do not have a pro football reference type memory, unfortunately. But we can say it's been a minute since
you were
they
in
should have.
4th grade when Marty Schottenheimer was the coach of the Chargers.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was paying more attention to Carolina basketball at that point than San Diego Charger football.
Oh, you want to talk about the Tar Heels? You want to talk about Tar Heel basketball?
I don't want to cry on air, so I don't know that that's in my best interest. Talk about underwhelming. That they have that in common with the Chargers.
It's just not been good. As Brian Geisinger, a friend of mine who came on earlier, said, they've been close in a lot of these games, and they have been. They came back against Florida, came back against Kansas, didn't come back against Auburn, but they've been close in a lot of these games. But boy, they have looked like the second best team by a lot, even in the close ones. I thought they were clearly the silver medalist in these games. Brooke Pryor, gold medalist. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I never know where it's going to end up. I appreciate you coming on all year. We'll talk to you in 2025.
Absolutely. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy circling back after the holidays.
I will.
Everyone. I am jealous of that.
Yeah, I will. I promise. Take care.
See ya.
Brooke Pryor here. All right, so Steelers-Ravens separated by a game. Pittsburgh won the first one. Mike Tomlin is, I think, the only coach with a winning record against John Harbaugh. These guys have been coaching against each other for a decade, actually more than a decade, because John Harbaugh won the Super Bowl, what was it, in 2012? Is that when the Ravens beat the 49ers? I think it was 2012 when the Harbaughs met in the Super Bowl. These two guys have been going at it for a long time. But, yeah, we're going to find out about the Steelers, and in some ways we're going to find out if Russ is just kind of keeping it together or if he can go win a football game. If Russ can do that, Steelers will hold on and win the division. But because they'll have a 2-game lead and the tiebreak, so the Steelers win this game and the division is over. That's what is on the line for Pittsburgh. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have a little bit of a rewind, and Lee Sterling is back. Do we have fights?
No, we don't have any until next year.
No fights?
Like January 11th is the next one.
No organized violence.
Withdrawal's bad.
Oh, my gosh.
Bad.
So there's not even any, like, you're just going to watch YouTube?
I was watching BKFC last night while I was doing some research.
What is BKFC?
It's bare knuckle. It's a little rougher. It's a little rough. That's a little rough.
You were watching bare knuckle fighting?
It was kind of in the background while I was doing other things. I was researching, so yeah.
Do you know where the bare knuckle boxing Hall of Fame is?
I don't.
Belfast, New York.
Nice.
There you go.
There it is.
All right, when we come back, we'll stretch. No, we're not trying. We're going to rewind and Lee Sterling with your weekend's football picks next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
It's that time of year to come see me. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most.
By getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective.
Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against new virus strains.
So make sure you don't miss that family gathering and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider about updated flu and COVID-19 shots.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline to enroll is January 15th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
As fall championships begin, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling home from today's events. Whether you're driving out of town or across town this holiday season, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. During the busiest time of travel, prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. And remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
AARP is working hard to make sure people in North Carolina are getting the most out of life. Whether it's helping you stay healthy, save more money, care for loved ones, or simply have some fun, AARP is making a difference in communities across the state. You have a wise friend and fierce defender with AARP. Learn more about progress being made for older adults in the state by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
NC Medicaid is for people just like me.
Adults who don't have children.
People who serve.
People who do the heavy lifting.
Childcare teachers. Full healthcare coverage at low or no cost.
Doctor's visits, emergency rooms, and prescriptions.
So if you applied before and didn't get it, apply again.
NC Medicaid covers more people than ever before.
Get full healthcare coverage at low cost, no monthly fees, and $4 max copays. NC Medicaid is for more people. See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, will join us a little over 5 minutes. We'll get the picks for the weekend. We'll do the locals. But, man, we need to know what Lee thinks about the 4 college football playoff games. For the most part, I like the underdogs not to win but to cover. I think we're going to see closer games. I think the greater chance of blowouts are really with both ACC teams. I think Penn State's actually really good, even though I've ridiculed their schedule and who they've beaten, which is really nobody. But I think they're really good. And I think that Texas might be just too much for Clemson. I know Chip said yesterday that the Longhorns don't get enough touchdowns out of their offense. But I think Clemson's the same way. Now, will Dabo Swinney have a little Clemson magic for Texas? I just don't even know if any of that it really exists. They were in position to at least drag the South Carolina game into overtime and couldn't do it. I think Texas is really good. They've only lost to Georgia twice, but that's all. They don't really have anything in terms of good wins because that's Michigan. That's their best win. But I think the biggest chance of favorites covering are those two games. But I'll be interested to see if Indiana can pull off a win in South Bend. I think they could. Again, I've ridiculed them all year. It would be fitting for them to win. But we'll talk to Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, about that in a minute. Right now, rewind time. A question that I have asked, not just today, but yesterday. North Carolina. If you ask me right now, you have to predict yes or no NCAA tournament, I'd say no. I asked Brian Geisinger, our friend, bgeis_bird, split the action, just go to the Substack. Everything you'd ever want to read about basketball is there. I asked him if North Carolina's problems were fixable.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of this will correct itself to an extent, like once the schedule, evens out a little bit. And I think even if you go back to the LaSalle game, there were maybe some I know LaSalle's not like a great opponent or whatever, but I thought even in that game, finally getting some Kate Tyson minutes where he looked pretty good.
Right. He's great against LaSalle.
So obviously not quite as good against Florida.
Right.
But I think getting someone in the front court room that can add some stretch, that would help a little bit. Or if Jalen Washington, who had promise as a stretch shooter, at one point in his career seemingly, but has just not been able. I think he's 0 of 7, 0 of 8 from deep this year.
Right.
They're very guard heavy. I ultimately think there's enough talent in the positions, the guard and wing positions on this roster that in an ACC that doesn't look super duper strong. I still think North Carolina is going to win a bunch of regular season games with enough opportunities. And I ultimately think the R.J. Davis, Seth Trimble backcourt is going to be really, really good. But certainly there's an issue in the middle. The lack of a direct post hub is a problem, and perhaps even some of the issues with Elliot Cadeau recently too. I mean, I know he struggled down the stretch in very painful and obvious ways, but his play has just been below where he was at the start of the season, and obviously the shot has just fallen off of a cliff again too. So I'll be curious to see where his role goes. He's very important for them as a driver and a passer, but they've got a guy like Ian Jackson that's just waiting there in the wings. I do think both Duke and UNC are going through something this season now. I maybe even brought this up last week when I was on with you, it'd be nice if one of those teams had someone that could just dump the ball into.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to run pick and roll and get the right coverage and make the right pass or hit a shot or something like that. That you could just get the ball in a position where and Duke has this to an extent with Cooper. He's drawn a lot of fouls and he can score in the post too, but he can't just overwhelm someone. He's not Ben Caro or Baycott, some of these real tank interior players. And Duke never really has something like that in Patrick Gongba, but obviously he's, physically not quite there this season, but down the line. And so, it's just going to be tough for them, I think, to find automatic offense every single game. That said, I don't think the offense is necessarily the problem for UNC. They're still playing with good pace. They're still a top 25 offense, and they're going to make more threes as the season goes along.
I agree the problems are on the defensive end. We get hung up on R.J. Davis shooting 25% from three-point range, and that will correct itself. But there are serious, I think, deficiencies and flaws in this team that I just don't know that they can rectify. North Carolina, for as long as I have been aware of college basketball, has been a rebounding team, and they are not. They are not good at offensive rebounding, and they are at defensive rebounding. And that has been a staple of Tar Heel basketball, again, forever. This team just doesn't do that. And it's primarily because they don't have interior players who can really impact the game. I think you'll see spurts from Jalen Washington, Lubin. There's not an impact player in that group. I think Carolina's best players are all wing players. Yeah, you get stretch fours in there. You could call Drake Powell a stretch four if you wanted, but they're wings. And I think their best players are all wings or guards. And I just don't think they're going to be a good rebounding team all year. And ultimately, that puts so much pressure on your shooters to be good. And I just don't I don't see UNC being good enough to beat really good teams. And therein lies the other problem, is that they're going to have to beat some really good teams at some point, and I'm just not sure how many they're going to see. Because that's the problem with the ACC. I will say this, got to start with a Saturday win over UCLA. Must. No other option. Must beat the Bruins. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I don't know what happened the last couple of weeks, sir. I'm sure it's my fault. It's good to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm good. I'm real good. Everyone down here wants to know what's going on in the pursuit of Casey Concepcion. Where do you think he ends up?
I have no clue where Casey Concepcion ends up. It was a strange year for him, because it wasn't like he was hurt. He was playing. He wasn't targeted as much, but there was no production of with the targets. We thought it would have gone the other way with a lot of other weapons to kind of take the pressure off. Mm-hmm. But maybe he's a guy who thrives where he's the only game in town. That's not a knock on him. Sometimes the responsibility of everything is on me brings out the best in players. He's an incredible talent.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, it's unfortunate that a lot of these kids don't stick with it. I think it's part of society now. They want that instant gratification. So, I've seen many kids, toil, not like his situation, but toil for a year or two, and then all of a sudden they come on and then they end up having great careers. So, it's unfortunate some of these kids are going on and playing for 2, 3, and sometimes 4 colleges. And also you got agents that are doing the bidding. There's a kid for Texas Tech caught all of 8 balls last year. 8 balls, and his opening, what he wants is $700,000 cash up front, deposited in his account, and he wants 3 cars. 3 cars for his family for all the games.
3 cars. I like that.
That's it.
I'm. You know what? I am going down to the corner office right now, and I'm going to do that. And I didn't catch any passes last year, Lee. None.
Okay. All right.
I caught no passes. All right. Let's. I want to get your take on the quarterfinal game, not the opening round games. But let me start with some of the locals. State and East Carolina. Dave Doran didn't want to admit that it was a rivalry game because they don't play every year. But that's fine. I get the semantics of it all, and you don't want to give little brother the satisfaction of being called a rival. Wolfpack, 5-point favorite against the Pirates.
So East Carolina fired their head coach, Mike Houston. They're a different team. Now, their defense is still not very good. But since Caden Hauser took over a quarterback for Jake Garcia, who never made sense why they were starting him, different team, 18 touchdowns, just 9 interceptions. Garcia had 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. They're pushing the ball down the field. They have 3 receivers averaging almost 20 yards per catch. So I think this is a dangerous offense. And I think East Carolina, this is their Super Bowl here. I think the wrong team's favorite. East Carolina here should be a exciting game here, 45-40.
40. I'll watch that. 45-40. That's fun. Tar Heels and UConn, 2 basketball schools, playing a football game in a baseball stadium at Fenway Park. How do you see this?
I think it's a trap game. Whenever you see a low line with a team with no history at all, you just take it. It's an automatic take here. The new coaching staff's going to be coming in here. This for the first time ever. UConn, get this, in 10 years, their quarterback did not have more negative yards. So they protected the quarterback, had almost 20 touchdown passes from the quarterbacks this year. Not going to be as high scoring as the other game, but I think UConn's probably the right side here, 28-24.
28-24. And the Blue Devils in the game that I like to call the David Cutcliffe Bowl, since he was the head coach for both of these teams in his career. I think 15 is too many points, even though Ole Miss could be a machine.
Not a game I'm going to personally play, but I think that Ole Miss is really mad that they didn't get picked. And Duke's backup quarterbacks have thrown all of one pass all season here, so I think the defense might be stressed. Not a game I'm playing, but I've got it Ole Miss here, 30-13.
30-13 is more than enough to cover the 15. Yep. All right. I kind of like all the underdogs to kind of keep it close in the college football playoff, but I think the ACC might be, if I was going to lean towards favorites, it would be in the two games with ACC teams. What do you think?
All right, so the two favorites that I like Penn State. It's going to be cold, high teens, and I think SMU's only strength here and advantage is speed. Penn State can beat anyone except for a top 5 team. On top of that, I also like Notre Dame. I think that this Indiana team could not do well against good defenses. Love Kurt Cignetti, but I think Riley Leonard, I think he's going to get the job done here. I like Notre Dame 30-17. Two underdogs. I like Clemson. Cade Klubnik is from Austin Westlake, so he'll be motivated here. The Texas offense just 106th in red zone scoring offense, and I don't trust Quinn Ewers. I think something's wrong. I think he's still not 100%. I think they should have made the change to Arch Manning here. I'm going to call for the upset. 12 points, way too much. And my wrong team favorite is going to be Tennessee. How about this stat? After a team loses as a 19.5-point favorite or larger, the next game they're 37-67 against the spread here. This Ohio State offensive line is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
They're down 2 starters, only 77 rushing yards versus Michigan here. I think Dylan Sampson could be the best running back on the field here. Straight up, Tennessee 26-24. See you, Ryan Day.
Yeah. You think, but that would be it for Ryan Day.
Yeah.
He's fallen into like Lloyd Carr territory where he can't beat his rival and he can't win the big game.
Mike Vrabel. What do you think Mike Vrabel's waiting for?
Oh,
former Ohio State linebacker.
So all former Patriots players and coaches are coming back to college.
That's it.
Ty Law will be the next coach at Michigan when they move on from Sherrone Moore. Lee Sterling at Paramount Sports. I thank you very much. Everything you need is right there.
You too, buddy.
Lee,
this is going to be our last segment until the Thursday before the Super Bowl, and then we'll give you some overs and unders and some prop plays. My daughter's suggestion on the over/under on the national anthem.
Yes.
Where she's
That's what I was concerned
about. On those. So we're going to give her the push for last year when Reba McEntire repeated the last line. So the books were paying both sides because it was the craziest thing we've ever seen. But just want to wish you and your family and your staff and all the listeners out there a happy and a healthy holiday. And what I'm going to do is next 2 nights, I've got selections going. Just go to ParamountSports.com. Normally $27. Use code word FREE. Free selection tonight, tomorrow. Just my way of saying thank you for listening in and checking out the website.
Here you go. Paramount Sports. Use the promo code FREE. Lee Sterling, Merry Christmas to you and yours. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam. Take care.
Take care. Lee Sterling here on the Adam Gold Show. So he's got different choices than me. I'll bet Lee knows better than I do. I'm no good at it.
No, sure. You are with at least the soccer stuff. I mean,
not so good. I do. I'm with a group of friends. We pick every Premier League game each week. who's last.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I'm bad.
Well, new year, new you.
I hope.
Maybe.
I'm really bad. I'm like the worst at it. It's comical at this point.
Well, maybe you're good. Like, whatever you pick, people should just do the opposite. Maybe that's the secret.
It actually is the secret. My whole plan with doing this is to get some consistency.
Yes,
and
one way or another.
And if I'm wrong all the time, right, then people can detect that pattern. All right, before we go, first of all, Victoria, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Merry
you.
Christmas to you.
Same to you.
I'm sure I'll see you this week.
Yeah.
And everybody else out there, thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Go Canes. We're still doing the pre and post in the Canes Corner podcast. Bye.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. Hold on one second. I got a text from Gordon. Are you referencing how many times you've done it? Well, isn't that personal? Oh, refinance. Yes, I've done it 11 times at Miller Lending. 11 times. Actually, 2 of those were actually home purchases. So 9 refinances, 2 home purchases, have never paid a dime in closing costs, have saved about $50,000 in that regard. And when I've refinanced, I've lowered my monthly payment each time. In fact, the last time I lowered my monthly payment, it was over $300 a month. You add up those savings, what would you do with your money? That's right. The money belongs to you. Don't ever pay closing costs. You don't have to. You only save yourself about $50 a month on your mortgage payment anyway by doing that, and you lose the freedom to refinance free of charge when the rates come down in the span of a year or even 2 years. That money is real money. Miller Lending, an equal housing lender on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, NMLS ID 2502146.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning diamond pendant, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect gemstone piece or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have hundreds of styles that are ready to be wrapped and put under the tree. No need to wait for shipping. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas before you head to the store, see the online seasonal gift guide now at